Okay, so now we're going to talk about fat arrow functions. To understand this, I'm going to write on ES5 functions, and that will just take it to ES6 domains. So I'm going to say const value, and this value is going to host a function. So this function will take two arguments, name and age, and then we just open and close. I'm gonna do console log the result of this function. So I'm gonna say a value and I'm gonna pass the arguments. The first one is gonna be James and then 45. Good. So if I just save it and reload the page, we are gonna get my name is James and age is 45. Good. We know this. Now, how can we refactor this to use fat arrow functions? Well, the first thing is to refactor this to match ES6 standard. It's going to be deleting the function keyword. So the first thing about fat arrow functions is to goodbye a function. We are not going to need it anymore. And the second thing, the thing is that right now the editor and the IDE is just telling you there's something wrong. Well, there is when you do something else to lead JavaScript to know that this is a fat arrow function. So we're gonna do equal and then just right pointing arrow. That's what we're gonna do. And this is gonna pass and this is gonna be okay. So pretty much after the equal, after we declare the variable, we pass the argument and then just fat arrow and then just curly brace. And if I just reload this, we get the same result. So this is working. Again, this is awesome. So this is the main difference. We have a lot more. I'm gonna delete this example, just gonna do something new. So whenever we have a single expression, whenever we write a fat arrow function, we have a single expression, we can get rid of the curly braces. Let me show an example. I'm gonna say value equals and I'm gonna pass two arguments x and y. Then equal and right pointing arrow. And the only thing I want to return is some of these two variables arguments. So I'm gonna say x plus y. Okay, I'm just returning one single thing, just a sum. So now what we can do instead of doing this, if I call it, how to do return or whatever, and if I call in console log, the value console log, and then again a value equals to 1 and 2. Just reload the page, we get 3. That's good. But since we have one single expression, I just can delete the curly braces and delete the return. And JavaScript will know that you want to return a single expression, so it's still gonna work. So you can do that. That's the second thing. Awesome thing about the fat arrow functions. But again, we have a lot more. So what happens if I choose 1, 2, I don't know, to grab one single argument and then just add 10, just the number plus 10. So whenever we have a single argument, there is no need to use parentheses. I just can get rid of this, and that's it. That's it. This is gonna be the argument, and since we have one, we get rid of that. We load the page, and it works. You know, it's really awesome. So there's a lot of things we can trim the function a lot to use less logic and less characters, you know, less space, and that is the main idea again of the ES6. You know, just make everything readable and no less time consuming. Okay, so maybe in the past you did a web app or something that are used on an object with some information side, and maybe the best example you can relate to is a plugin or maybe jQuery plugin. So let me explain to you with some code so we can make sense because if not, it's not gonna make sense at all. So we have an object with the brands and categories, and for each brand, we need to output the category. Let me just write this down so you can understand this. So I have a variable that is gonna be called cars. This variable is gonna be just an object, okay? So this object is gonna have some brand. So I'm gonna say brand, and I'm gonna get on array. So I'm gonna just write some brand. Ford. We have what else? We have Audi, and then BMW. Good. So gonna do comma, and I'm gonna put a category, and you know this car belongs to a category. So I am gonna say this one is a sports car. Good. Uh, and then you go comma, and I'm gonna write a function or method. So I'm gonna say message, and this method message is gonna be equal to a function. Good. So whenever I call this message, I'm gonna get something. So what I want to do, I want to output something that says brand is, and then the category, you know, Ford is a sports car, Audi it's a sports car. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna return, and since we know a map, we can use map, okay? So what I need to map is gonna be the brand inside this object, okay? So I can do this dot brand and then map, you know, whenever we call to this inside the method, you are referring to the parent object. So okay, so I'm gonna do function, and then I get a call. I'm gonna assign a name for this item just like we did before, brand. Good. So I'm gonna go right here, and then I'm gonna say, okay, I want to console log template string. It's gonna be the brand, the actual brand, and then it's gonna be and we need to output the category, you know. So I'm gonna do a dollar sign, then curly braces, and then this because we are referring to this object and then just carefully. Good. Okay. So in theory, if I just run the function, I'm gonna call this method. This gonna be cars dot and then a message. In theory, we should be getting this. Okay. So I'm gonna reload the page and we get bold, either undefined and then just undefined. The thing is that we can, whenever we refer to this, in this case we say this, and JavaScript knows that we are talking about cars, this object, but then we have a function. So if we use this keyword inside the function of the method, that the keyword is gonna be this function, the function brand, and not the main object. So we have a problem with scope right here. And I know that if you have experience with this happened many times to you. If not, this is something new. Well, here's the problem. We cannot use this if we have a function. If we have a different scope. So now the thing is that because we can use this to refer to the main object. So what we do in ES5 just back in the day. So we create a variable that is gonna just serve as an alias. So I'm gonna say this, and maybe you saw this using jQuery, for example. So we say a variable that it's gonna be called $, and that's equal to this. This object, this is equal to this object. Good. So now, whenever we use this inside this method, it's always going to be this object. So I'm gonna go just copy this simple that I'm gonna make a reference to this one, and reference to this one. And if I reload the page, it's gonna work. So that's good. We can fix it like they're just using ES5. Now the thing is that with fat arrow functions, there is no need to do this anymore. Yeah, there's no need. So I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna make a reference to this. And of course, this is the main object right here. I'm just gonna go back to this, okay? For now, it's not gonna work. But what I can do, I can enter here and this function, and I can delete the keyword function because we don't need it anymore with fat arrow functions. I'm gonna say equal and then just write pointing arrow, and I'm gonna reload the page and it works. Whenever we use fat arrow functions, the scope stays the same. JavaScript knows that when you refer to this, it's gonna be the cars, the main parent object. It's just gonna look up and say, oh, I'm pretty sure it meant this. The main object. So again, there is no need to do that workaround. Now you can use it in more native way that it's really awesome. Okay. Thanks for watching this video.